Hey, what's going on today, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the new Mathews V3 and if it's worth buying it. For me, obviously it was, because I bought it. Now, I have a couple reasons why I bought this bow, and I want to share those reasons with you guys, and it might help you in your decision making if you're looking at a new bow or if you're looking at this bow. I am by no means a bow tech or know that much about shooting bows, but for me there's a couple reasons why I bought this bow, and it was an upgrade obviously over my older bow. So I'm gonna go over some of those reasons with you guys. Alright guys, so I haven't been hunting with a bow for very long. It's been like 2 or 3 years, and I've had some problems with my bow that have stopped me from using it. So this was the first bow I ever used. It is a Bear Silent Hunter. I think it's a 50-pound draw. And when I was younger, this was a hand-me-down from my grandpa. The problem is, when I first started using it, even with the limbs all the way backed out, I could barely draw this thing back. It took everything in me to draw this thing back, and I could probably only shoot it, a handful of times before I couldn't pull it back anymore. So unfortunately, that kind of turned me off from bow hunting for a while. I just never thought about it, and I wasn't very good shot with it anyways. So after this bow pretty much got retired and has been collecting dust ever since, I started getting back into hunting more as I got a little bit older, and I bought a crossbow. So the reason I bought the crossbow is I live down in the city and there's really no place to practice, and with the crossbow you pretty much sight it in and you're done. I mean, obviously you gotta check it every once in a while. I missed a deer doing that once. My scope got bumped, but it's just so easy and convenient to use the crossbow, and that's what I did for the longest time because I wasn't hunting very much. I was going up for a couple days here and there during bow season, and it was just the simple way to go. So I do like this crossbow. It's not for me anymore. I think it's so much more fun shooting a compound, and I honestly will probably never go back. I just love shooting my compound, and it's so much fun. It's more challenging, but for a beginner, this was a perfect solution. You can get away with a lot more movement. Well, not more movement with a crossbow, but you don't have as much movement because you're not drawing back. So for a beginner to get back into it, this was the best option for me at the time. So after this, I decided I wanted to get back into shooting a compound again. Obviously I'm a little bit stronger now and I can pull back the bow. So I had been looking for a while, and I didn't want to get a complete beginner's bow. I wanted something a little bit more mid-range, but again, I didn't want to drop $1,200 on a bow. So I had done my research and I was kind of set on this Hoyt. So it's a Hoyt Power Max. There it is right there. And I love this bow. This bow shoots really good. Obviously it's not top tier, and obviously it's not junk either. So the reason I went with this is it had an accessories kit with it. And in this kit you got the stabilizer, you had a sight, and you had a wrist sling. You had everything you needed to get you going. And this bow shoots really good, and I like shooting this bow. However, and it came with the drop away rest. The problem that I had with this bow is the stock sight that came with it. I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing for me. I was probably going to upgrade the sight. The problem for me that I had with this bow is when I first got it, I shot it as much as I could, and I had it dialed in. Now, those cheap plastic sight housings, they break. So I got this thing dialed in and ready to go for season. So a couple days before a bear hunt, I'm not kidding, I set this bow down in the case and I had to move something, and I went to close my case, it barely touched it, and the sight housing broke. Just snapped right off. So I ended up taking my gun, because in Michigan you can use, rifles, shotguns, or bows, crossbows, whatever you want. So I ended up leaving the bow, and obviously it was pretty much done for my season too. So I switched back to my crossbow, and I just used my crossbow for the couple days, and I didn't really hunt that much for the archery season because my bow the sight was broken on it. So after that season was over, I ended up taking the sight in, and it was covered under Hoyt's warranty. I took it back to the bow shop I bought it at. They put a new sight on for me. Didn't cost me anything. So that was fine. I understand. Like I said, I was planning on upgrading it. I just, wasn't ready to drop that money after I dropped, I think it was $750 or $800 on this whole setup. So I figured I could get at least 1 year out of that, bow sight. Well, same thing happened. I sighted it all in. I got it ready to go for the next season. I was playing with it over the summer and into the fall, and I had a bear hunt again. This time, I made it through the bear hunt without the sight breaking, and I ended up shooting a decent bear with this bow. Unfortunately, as deer season came around, which was directly following the bear hunt, I was walking through the woods, and I just hear something hit the ground, and I look down, and it broke again in the exact same spot. So that's 2 sights that have broken with this bow, and I'm not happy. It has nothing to do with the bow, and the bow is great, and I love the bow. I really like the grip on it, the way it shoots. It's a great bow, but the accessories that came with this thing were garbage. And if I were you, I would just buy your own accessories and save the money, or buy a used bow and not, buy the cheapo accessories that come on this bow. So the sight I ended up going with after the fuse sight broke is the Trophy Ridge. It's called the Hot Wire. It's a 3-pin. So I've got my 20, 30, 40, and then my 40 is adjustable. I don't plan on taking very long shots or very many shots, but I have the option, and I have the option to practice, that far. It has a light built into it. You can't really see it, because it's bright out, but these do glow, and they get pretty bright. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just get a little bit of everything with this sight, and it's pretty affordable. I think it was like $85 or $100. I can't really remember, but it's not super expensive for everything that you get with it. It's pretty cool. It comes with this little tool. It's built into it. It just unscrews. You can adjust everything. I read some other reviews on it on how people didn't know what pin to adjust, so I put some orange tape for the orange, my 30 pin. That way I know what one I'm adjusting. But yeah, this thing is super cool, and I like it so far. Obviously, we'll see how durable it is and if it can get me through a whole season without breaking. But it feels pretty solid, and not a lot of plastic on here. Everything's metal, I think. But yeah, it's super easy. It does have the micro adjust on the side too, which is nice compared to what I was using. I had to adjust individual pins, and it was such a pain. But I got this thing dialed in pretty quick. Other than the slider, I'm still going to mess with this a little bit more as I shoot a little bit further. So this Mathews, I love the way that this thing shoots. It draws back amazing. It holds really nice. I can get settled into my, after I draw very well, and it's very comfortable for me. There's so many nice things. It's super quiet. Not that the Hoyt was really loud, but you definitely you don't feel any vibration in this thing. It looks amazing. I love the way that it looks. And the only thing that I don't like about this is the grip. And it's not even that the grip is bad. It's just this little plastic piece right here. It bothers my knuckle when I shoot. So I don't know if I just have a huge knuckle or something, but when I hold the bow, or maybe every time I grab the bow, it does catch my knuckle, and you don't really notice it until after 100 shots or so. Now with the Hoyt, I never had that problem because it's smooth all the way around. There's no lip. Just sits right there in your hand. Now, other than that, everything else about this bow is better. Obviously, it's a more expensive bow, so it's going to be a nicer draw. It's going to be better let off. It's going to be a smoother back wall. But that is the only thing, and that's something I can change. It's not really a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, I'm not shooting 100 arrows every day, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to have to figure something out. And yeah, so let's go shoot these things. Alright, gonna take a couple shots with the V3. I just love that when I get settled, it's just rock solid. Super smooth, super easy to draw back. I mean, I'm comparing a $1,200 bow to a $800 bow, but the amount I hunt, how long I can hold this back compared to the other one at almost the same draw weight. This one's set at 72. I think the Hoyt is at 70, but this thing feels like it's 65 compared to the other one. Mathews V3. Take a couple shots with the Hoyt. I don't have a sight on it, so I got the bag pretty close. So see, it's a little jumpy. Especially going from shooting that Mathews to this one. The Hoyt Power Max. Like I said, it's a good bow. I mean, obviously the other one's more expensive, so it's gonna have better build quality. Everything's, you know, and it's 3 or 4 years newer. So, but this was a great bow. I think my buddy wants to buy it off me. He's upgrading from a old PSE, so we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, I'm gonna shoot 5 arrows at 20 yards and see how we do with the new V3. Well, it wasn't too bad. Rushed a little bit on that last shot, but it's pretty good. Mathews V3, baby. Woo! Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. I'm gonna have some new videos coming out. I'm gonna do like a pack dump for you guys. Show you everything I got in my bag. I switched over from a different pack from last year, so I do hunt out of a saddle, and I got some climbing sticks, so hopefully this bag works a little better than what I was using before. So thanks again guys, appreciate it. Later.